Number 1.
On Wednesday, May 16, 1984, a vehicle belonging to Helen Ann Morgan was discovered at Atlanta Hartsfield International Airport, apparently abandoned in the South Terminal parking lot. Morgan had been reported missing on May 14, 1984, from Lamar County, Georgia. Her mother last saw Morgan on Sunday, May 13, 1984, which was Mother's Day. On that Sunday, Morgan allegedly received a telephone call around 7 p.m., which lasted 4 to 6 minutes. The call may have been related to her work at the National Cash Register Company in Fayetteville, Georgia, in the computer center. Another call came in at approximately 10 p.m., from what again sounded work-related. Upon hanging up, Morgan told her mother that she had to go to work to straighten out a problem with a computer. This was the last time Morgan's mother saw her. Morgan changed her clothes and left the residence. Morgan's mother did not see what she was wearing when she left home. During the investigation, Morgan was described as being a very conscientious person with a great deal of ambition, and not the type to leave without notifying anyone. Morgan occasionally visited a bar called Frady's in Peachtree City with her friends, but was not the type person to be picked up by anyone at a bar. Prior to Morgan's disappearance, Morgan did not seem upset, nor had she made any indication that she was making plans to travel. Since Morgan's disappearance, no purchases or any activity has been noted on any of Morgan's financial accounts. Helen Ann Morgan has left an ex-husband and a daughter. Before her divorce was final in February or March of 1984, Morgan confided to her mother that she believed she was being followed. Was her husband following her? Was he involved? She went by her middle name, Ann. Her birthday is July 12, 1957, and she was 26 when she disappeared. She's 5'7" and 114 pounds with brown hair and blue eyes.
Number 2.
Morse was last seen in Austell, Georgia in October 1989. At the time of her disappearance, he was employed as an air traffic controller for the United States Navy and was stationed at a naval air station in Bermuda. Morse came home to Austell on leave in October 1989. He was supposed to return to Bermuda at the end of his leave. When his leave was over, Morse told his mother he would see her at Christmas, and left. That night, someone from Bermuda called Morse's father and stated he had not arrived back at the base as scheduled. Morse had told each parent that the other parent would drive him to the airport to return to Bermuda. He had also confided to a friend that he was unhappy in the Navy and was thinking of deserting. The Navy believes he absconded from his military service and listed him as absent without leave, AWOL. They have elected not to prosecute him, however, if he reappears. A private detective hired by Morse's family discovered he visited a friend after his October 1989 disappearance. His friend dropped him off at the bus station, and this was the last sign of him. The police refused to accept a missing persons report for Morse for many years, as there was no evidence of foul play in his case. They finally took a report in 2007. Morse's family says it is uncharacteristic of him to leave without warning, as he enjoyed a close relationship with his relatives. His father hopes he's in hiding for fear of being prosecuted for desertion. His case remains unsolved.
Number 3.
Nord was last seen in Ackworth, Georgia on August 6, 1992. She was arguing with her boyfriend, Stephen Kreisman. At the time, they left in her silver Nissan pickup truck. Nord's 14-year-old daughter was spending the night elsewhere, and when she returned to their mobile home at the Shadowwood Mobile Home Park the next day, her mother was gone. A phone cord, a comforter and Nord's truck had also disappeared. Her 19-year-old son had been home that night, and he thought Nord must have left home with Kreisman before he woke up in the morning. She has never been heard from again. 6 weeks later, her truck was found parked at a shopping center in Marietta, Georgia. There was no sign of her at the scene. Stephen is considered a suspect in Nord's disappearance, in the 1989 disappearance of another girlfriend, Twyla Mickey, and the murder of his wife, Rita Kreisman. Rita disappeared from Marietta, Georgia in 1986. Stephen said she'd gone out to run errands and never returned, leaving behind an infant son, a 3-year-old daughter and 2 stepsons. 2 days later, her body was found in a creek a few miles from home. She had been strangled. Although her body was partially clothed, there was no evidence of sexual assault. Rita was Stephen's second wife. The first had died of cancer in 1985. The couple had had a volatile relationship, and, the day she vanished, Rita had told her husband she was filing for divorce. They had been married for only a few months. Authorities never charged Stephen in Rita's murder or Nord or Mickey's disappearances, but he remains the prime suspect in all 3 cases. He had a criminal record for car theft and was described as an unstable man with a hot temper and a history of suicide attempts. He remarried after Rita's death and died in 2013 at the age of 55. Foul play is suspected in Nord's case. After her disappearance, Stephen pawned some of her jewelry, which her children said she never took off, even when she was in the showering. He also reportedly had a gun which Nord normally kept in her purse. Her case remains unsolved.
Number 4.
Shikemia was last seen playing outside near her family's residence on Crumpler Avenue, near the Roxy Club in Unadilla, Georgia, at approximately 7 p.m. on September 4, 1998. Her family planned to attend a high school football game that evening. Her older sister decided to get gasoline for her car and pick up Shikemia afterwards. When she returned from the gas station, she realized Shikemia was missing. The family at first assumed she must have gotten a ride with someone else or had gone to play at a friend's home. The authorities were summoned after Shikemia's family was unable to locate her later in the night, but police incorrectly told her family she had to be missing for over 24 hours before they could begin an investigation. She has never been seen again. Authorities have received numerous tips regarding Shikemia's disappearance, but no solid evidence has been located to guide them to her whereabouts. Neighbors in the area gave their consent for investigators to search their homes. Police searched every residence, inside and out, in a 5 to 6 block radius from the Pot A home, and found no evidence in her case. Shikemia is described as an outgoing child who loved skating and new clothes in 1998. She was involved with her family's church. Authorities believe that she may have been abducted by someone she was familiar with at the time, but everyone in her family has been cleared of suspicion. The neighborhood where she lived had a high crime rate with a lot of drug use and gambling. Her case remains unsolved.
Number 5.
There were plenty of characters in the life of Marcie Peterson that seemed shady, but no one has been publicly named as a suspect connected to her missing person case. By 2003, Marcie had completed her real estate training. According to Essence, Marcie had aspirations of using that knowledge to establish her own business. However, the Charlie Project states that Marcie's run-in with the law landed her in jail for a few months on misdemeanor charges. Marcie and her husband of less than a year were separated for an undisclosed amount of time, but her mother reportedly stated that they were working on reconciling their relationship. TCP claims that Marcie's legal troubles were behind her mortgage company going out of business, so as a result, she and her estranged husband were living together in the Studiopolis Extended Stay Motel in Marietta, Georgia. Marcie's loved ones believe she may have met him on the internet. On October 30, 2003, Marcie Tokeysha Peterson was last seen at 11 a.m. near the motel. The 28-year-old has never been seen or heard from again. An investigation uncovered 2 other questionable people in Marcie's life. A man who gave her money for her schooling and another man who allegedly tried to run her down with his vehicle. Police found that the man who helped her pay for her education was using an alias. Detectives also learned that Marcie told her mother, Barbara Crane, that the man who let her borrow money $30,000 chased her down with a car and threatened her life. Neither man has been publicly named, nor has it been made clear if they are persons of interest. Barbara admitted that she didn't know much about the men in Marcie's life, and while her daughter had a few hard times, Marcie's sister said she didn't seem out of sorts in those last months. At the time of her disappearance, Maurice stood 5 feet 8 inches and 140 pounds. She had black dark brown hair and brown eyes. She has a number of distinguishable marks and tattoos. A 1 to 2 inch tattoo of a Chinese symbol on the back of her neck, a tattoo of a Chinese symbol on her middle to lower back, a tattoo of the name Carl on her upper left breast area. She was last seen wearing silver sunglasses and possibly wearing silver stud earrings and silver necklace. Some publications refer to her by her maiden name Marcie Crane. Marcie would be 44 years old at the time of this publication. The Doe Network reports that she may be in the New York area. Foul play is suspected. Anyone with information regarding Marcie's disappearance is urged to contact Detective Chris Twiggs at the Cobb County Police Department at 770-499-3931 or their local authorities. Please share this story about the investigation regarding the disappearance of Marcie Peterson to reignite the investigation into her disappearance. She is our sister and her life matters.
Number 6.
The phone rang around 9 a.m. on Wednesday, November 30, 1994. It was Evelyn Louise Piper calling her daughter to wish her a happy Thanksgiving. Evelyn told her daughter that she was going to Jerusalem, Israel to get married and would be returning the following Sunday. The daughter thought Evelyn was joking since Evelyn wasn't known to be romantically involved with anybody. She proceeded to ask her daughter to pick up her mail and to continue to hold the jewelry shows that were her source of income. The daughter declined as she had no idea how to run the shows. The phone call concluded, and Evelyn was never heard from again. Piper's car was found parked in the long-term lot of the Columbus, Georgia Municipal Airport about a week later. There was no indication of Piper's whereabouts in the car. The car was missing a lot admittance ticket, however. An investigation at the airport found no evidence that Piper had boarded any flight or purchased any tickets. The last time Piper had been physically seen was November 28, 1994, 2 days before the phone call. Some sources list the location as Columbus, while others say Phoenix City. Evelyn lived in Phoenix City, Alabama, while her daughter lived in Columbus, Georgia. The cities sit on opposite sides of the Chattahoochee River on the Georgia-Alabama border. Did Piper get married in Israel and settle there? Perhaps she met someone while running her jewelry shows? I've heard that before 9/11s, getting a plane ticket was as easy as getting a bus ticket. I didn't fly until 2006, so I would like to know just how easy it would be to purchase a ticket, fly out of the country, and not leave a paper trail. Basically, is the lack of evidence at the municipal airport an indication she didn't fly, or is very plausible she flew out of the area without leaving any indications to that fact? Plus, I wouldn't think municipal airports would offer international flights, would they? I could maybe see transferring at Atlanta, but why not just drive to Atlanta and save some money? Could the car just be staged? Piper was a resident of Phoenix City, Alabama at the time of her 1994 disappearance. Her case remains unsolved.